Oh, it's a different bar lady. Thank God. Excuse me. Sorry, can you stop shaking that? I want... Oh, for God's sake. Can I just have a pint and please, just a Coke and an espresso martini? Thank you.
Welcome to Aladdin.
Wow, that was...
So we just entered the the Twilight Zone.
I feel a bit tingly.
It's good, that, wasn't it?
Oh, how long have you been practicing that one for?
All my life.
Oh, I can tell. Can you tell?
Came out of the womb.
The best one yet.
And my first words came out of the womb. The doctor slapped me, and instead of crying, I just went up and down the piano.
Okay, well, welcome back. Episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
3 months, baby.
Yeah, you're not sick and tired of us yet. Why are you still listening? Because we're great.
But
Thank you.
No one is listening anymore.
Yeah, we're just talking to no one. My name's Tom.
My name's Dan.
Shitting hell.
The come back to me joke won't work this week.
I'm semi-professional wakeboarder Joseph Benham.
Oh, you've been wakeboarding twice.
3 times.
Whoa.
Wow.
And I'm semi-professional
Don't
going
push the
3
boat out,
times.
Joe.
That's how good I am.
Wow, that's so good.
Well, I don't push the boat out because I wouldn't be able to wakeboard and push the boat.
Cheers.
Glad
That
someone picked up on that joke. Cheers.
Glad they did. Lovely. So,
was like the weakest clink in the world.
I would like, well,
Is that-
actually.
Yeah, I didn't fancy sending drinks all over the
No,
equipment.
you see a bit of movie magic. They're actually all plastic.
They are actually,
Well,
aren't
they're
they?
not. That one is. The rest are glass. Well, that's irrelevant. I would like to start with some news.
Go ahead.
Go for it.
Yeah,
This
thanks.
is a
I
new.
know.
This
And
is a news.
This is
Yeah,
right
segment.
up my street, this one. All
All
right.
right,
So,
okay.
Sky News this week.
Yes.
This was the headline. World's Best Dad Joke was announced this week in celebration of Father's Day. There were more than 2,700 applicants across the world for the World's Best Dad Joke.
Okay.
And the winner was an Austin May from Warwickshire. You want to hear the joke?
No.
Okay, cool. Moving on. Next.
Yeah.
bit of news. No, so the joke goes, I once hired a limo, but when it arrived, the guy driving it just walked off. I said, "Excuse me, are you not going to drive me?" And the guy told me that the price didn't include a driver. So I'd spent £400 on a limo and have nothing to show for it.
Oh my God.
You know, that is fantastic.
I don't even think that's a
And
dad
that is the
joke.
world's best dad joke.
I think that's a dad joke.
That's brilliant.
Is it the world's best dad joke? Or just
It was
the
voted
UK's
so,
best
out of
dad
over
joke?
2,700
I
applications.
thought that. I thought because it was on 2,700 isn't that much.
Yeah.
But that was world. I double checked. Sky News said world. so
Well,
I
it's all
believe 'em.
comparative, isn't it? 2,700 doesn't seem like a lot. If you give a billionaire £2,700, it's nothing. If you
Yeah.
give someone who's got nothing £2,700,
And there might
that's-
only be
that's-
2,701 dad jokes in the world.
Yeah.
That's
But
the
what
thing.
if that one that wasn't submitted?
2,700 seconds isn't a lot. 2,700 global tragedies. That's a lot.
Oh, okay. Well, any more news?
Let's move us on. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen, but I know we don't bring politics into this, and it's always me that does. But I think this is something we can all
It
have a
is.
bit
You
of a
set
joke
the
about.
rules and you break them.
Well, it's funny you should say that. Speaking of making rules and breaking them, Matt Hancock's been a bit of a naughty boy
Oh,
this week,
he
hasn't
has.
Indeed, yes, he
Tut,
has.
tut, tut, naughty, naughty boy.
he? The question's got to be asked. What is Matt Hancock doing? Like,
Well, he's extending the Eat Out to Help Out scheme.
Brilliant. That was quite witty for you, that.
Thanks, I definitely
Have you not
didn't.
got that written
Joe's
on?
very witty. We
He's got
normally
it.
just have to cut it out.
Yeah, I know.
I
it's not
definitely
written.
didn't practice that in the office earlier.
Definitely. We didn't have to do it 2 times just then.
And I definitely didn't say it in the office earlier.
Brilliant. Okay, so.
We definitely
I've
didn't do
actually
it 2
got...
times then.
So this isn't news, but I'd like to tell you all a story about my friend David.
Oh, shout out, David.
Yeah, shout out David. So my friend David, he went to town the other day.
Which town?
He came into Manchester City Centre.
Manchester.
Went to the pub. And
Chinatown?
I don't know. I just know he came into town.
Can I ask why people call it town as well, by the way, when it's a city?
It's a city,
City,
innit?
innit?
But
Really,
everyone
really
just calls it
Started
town,
as a
don't they?
town.
But anyway, so David, he came to came to town the other day.
Dave or David?
David.
What, Dave?
Can you just please let me tell you the story? Anyway, so David came to town, lost his ID, so now he just goes by Dav.
Oh, no.
God's sake.
I thought you were being serious. You idiot. You got... Oh, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed that I didn't see that coming.
That was like the hospital thing last week with you all over
Oh,
again.
I know.
Suckered us in there.
Oh, well, you've got to get you in with a Gucci little story, haven't you? So that was your not very serious story. Well, then I would like to, in that case, move on to I was today years old when, and it's going to start with a little bit of a question and a scenario as such.
Okay.
Now, I want you to consider all of the large cities in the world, all the sporting events and the tourism and just, quite frankly, stupid things that people spend money on.
Yep.
And I want you to think about all that.
Pineapples.
Tell me exactly, like pineapples.
They used to be a status symbol, you know. Sorry,
If you
different
had a
topic.
pineapple on your table, it was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
They were like a really expensive commodity, so people would buy them to never eat them and keep
Now
them
it's
there.
just Himalayan rock salt.
Yeah.
And we have two. So anyway, imagine all of those things in the world. And now tell me how many blimps you think exist.
Currently in existence.
Yeah, like blimp, like, they fly above.
Still operational as well.
Yeah,
Or
they fly above football stadiums.
One.
And
No, count all the ones from the Blitz as well.
one.
147,306,225 and 1/3 because you've got someone
The
that were
Nuremberg.
absolutely shattered in the
How
Blitz.
did you know that?
I googled it the other day.
Nice, you remembered it.
No,
Hive
Joe,
mind.
you were looking at the number of results for blimp, not how many blimps there was.
Anyway,
Oh, is that what? Oh,
562. Oh, 6,000.
506. We've got 6,000 behind the camera, going once, going twice. We've got 6,000 coming in. 6,000, 6,000. 12.
no, at least 12, not 12. at
Okay,
least.
well, enough of the nonsense. I would like to tell you that there are only 25 blimps in the entire world.
I was right. I was literally
In the entire world, there's only 25, and only half of them are in use. 8 of them are owned by the same company. So if you see a blimp,
Do you know where?
it's a very, very rare sight.
Do you know what country they're in? I feel like loads of them are in America because they have them at like the
A
sports
lot of them are
games,
over
don't
like
they?
the football
Yeah.
stadiums,
Yeah.
But surely you'd imagine there's more.
Didn't they used to be? Weren't blimps used to be used as like nowadays in a sporting stadium? You have like executive boxes. Weren't blimps what they used to do? You watch the game
it was
from
a very
above, and you had
expensive
food on it and
ticket.
stuff like that.
I'm not
but-
being funny. That would be the shittest place to watch a sport from.
well, no, because
Oh wow! Look, the basketball.
No, you
I can't.
basketball's a closed stadium, Joe. We're talking
Surely you could
football
have an
stadiums
open
here,
roof.
like American football. They
Yeah,
used
but-
to watch it from above.
Well, surely that'd still be wank.
But the
No,
reason
because you watch the full play.
the reason they stopped doing them or stopped using them is because they were so hard to operate.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And it seemed it was only the Germans that were any good at operating them, and well, that got eradicated when they lost the war. So
They were really inefficient as well, weren't they?
yeah, stupidly
Because they tried to make it more efficient, and that's what ended up. That was the Nuremberg accident.
yeah, big bang. So anyone else got an I was today years old you would like to grace the ears of our listeners with?
It is a bit of an I was today years old, and it's also a nod to space for the week.
I hope people can hear the knobs.
Yeah,
I'll have to start adding a sound effect. Whoosh.
and it comes to us
Nyo.
courtesy of Gabor. Shout out, Gabor.
Yeah. Shout out Mr. P.
Oh, thank you very much.
So, we all know the Australians. They
Well,
they like
I don't know
Well,
them
no, we
all.
might not know
All
an
of them-
Australian.
all of them together.
Every single
one in
Australian.
existence.
I know a handful, not
Yeah.
all of them.
They're known
How
for the sense
small
of
are they
humour.
to get them in? Sorry,
Yeah.
But only little actually. It's the now different
tiny
gravity
people.
down there.
Oh yeah, so they don't.
Yeah, it squishes them down.
Yeah, of course.
You two finished? Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
cool. Well, they're known for their sense of humour.
Are
They're
they?
a bit sarcastic.
Yeah.
They can be a bit comedic.
Just trying to be British.
Well, yeah. Technically,
Well,
they were
technically
British.
are, yeah. Just extradited.
I found out, courtesy of Gabor,
Thanks, Cabo.
what the Australian space program is called.
Okay.
It is called ARSE,
Oh,
the Australian Research and Space Exploration.
no, it
ARSE
would be
is on every Australian space
It
suit.
would be.
Incredible.
It's so Aussie if they
It's-
if they named it that first and then afterwards
Yeah, and tried
realised.
to. Yeah. Here's the acronym. Now find what fits.
Do you mean
What's it called?
ARSE.
Right. Yeah, the Australian Research and Space Exploration. Let's seek my.
That's
Let's carry
brilliant. I
on.
like that.
Arse.
So every Australian astronaut
Imagine trying
has an
to-
arse on the sleeve.
Imagine
Arse in
trying to
space.
explain that. Oh, what do you do for a living? I work for arse. Oh, so you're a sex worker? Oh, no. Massive miscommunication there.
No, if I did that, I work for money.
I learned something the other day. Mm-hmm. I suppose it's an I was today
It's
years
the first
old.
time for everything, isn't
but-
it, Joe?
Yeah, well, I just know everything anyway. So when I learn something new, it always takes me by surprise.
Right.
So it is a today. I was what's it called?
And in classic fashion, he's not prepared. He's having to Google it.
Yeah, I couldn't even get the title
I just
right.
needed the prompt of the person's name. So he's called Gary. I think it's pronounced Plowshay because it's got a little.
Shout out Gary Plowshay.
Well, he's been dead for 7 years.
No shout out Gary Plowshay.
Shout out Gary Plowshay minus
So,
7 years.
this is-
Rest in peace.
This is a bit of like a, on the cuff topic. Basically, Gary Plowshay is a gentleman who is known as a vigilante.
Gary Plowshay.
Can
Or
you-
was known as a vigilante.
Well, yeah. Can you hazard a guess as to why? He's only ever done one thing that made him a
Gary
vigilante.
Where's he from?
He's from Louisiana in the
I
United
think-
States.
So he's crazy because he's American.
I think he's killed a serial killer.
He's not killed a serial
so
killer.
it's like
If it's just one thing and he's
like Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, punishing the punishing the
well, no,
punishers.
because Batman will do anyone.
Where is she?
So
I reckon he's probably kidnapped a rapist and tortured them and chopped off their private parts.
no.
Oh,
There's something really
did he?
weird.
Is he that guy that created the hotel that used to trap like?
None. He's a vigilante.
Yeah, no, but he used to trap
So
like it had
No,
rooms.
no.
That,
Anyway,
never mind.
this gentleman walked into an airport.
I know what he did.
Oh, go on.
He broke into people's houses and stole the bottom of the kettle.
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay.
So this gentleman walked into an airport where there was loads of media, loads of police, pulled a gun out
Yeah.
and shot a man once in the head in
Okay.
front of the police.
Wow.
And in front of the media. It was caught on film.
I've seen
Who
it.
was the man?
The man that he shot was a man called Jeff Ducey,
Shout out Jeff
who
Ducey.
had
Oh, no.
who
shout
had
out Jeff Ducey.
kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and molested Gary's son.
Oh,
And
so it was like a Liam Neeson
Yeah,
style
Gary straight
thing.
up walked into the
And just
into
is
the.
like, I don't care what happens to me.
He got for that 300 hours of community service.
What?
So
he saved the
I mean,
American
he got-
judicial
he
system
got-
a ton of money.
He got a suspended sentence of 7 years
Yeah.
for it, 5 years probation, but he never went into jail.
That's so American.
And it's because there wasn't a single jury or judge in the state that in his county
Who would find
that
him
would
guilty.
find him guilty because of him
Because of the
avenging
circumstances.
it for his son.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want, but I will do 300 hours of community service.
Well, I think listen. I'm not happy on people playing judge, jury, and executioner, but in this situation, Gary Plowshay,
Fair on him.
you're a
Should
fucking legend,
have
bro.
shot him in the head twice.
Big up, big up,
Same
man.
thing
Big up
happened
my
with,
man,
It's
Gaz.
the Gaza.
Same thing happened with Lee Harvey Oswald, didn't it?
What?
The guy that shot JFK, supposedly, if you into all the conspiracies, he was being transported by the police, and all the news and public were out watching. Someone shot him.
That reminds me. Folding back to news, guys.
Folding.
John McAfee has commit suicide in his Spanish prison cell. Have you seen this?
No.
John McAfee, the inventor of McAfee antivirus, was found dead in his Spanish prison cell. But he spent the past couple of months tweeting, if I commit or if I hang myself a la Epstein, it wasn't actually me, it's the United States government.
It was the virus.
And yeah, that's one.
He was killed by his own
Do you know he's
virus.
also never used antivirus software?
Has he not?
No.
Why?
Because he just routinely changes things like his IP address.
No,
sites
because he's
and
got
stuff like that.
Norton and he can't
Yeah.
uninstall it. Just can't get rid of it. Comes up.
he put
28 days until your free trial expires.
he put his name into the subscription service. They were like, we've got him. We've locked him in now.
Right, I'm not going to do another I Was Today Years Old. I'm going to swiftly move us on to an Is It Just Me That Wonders?
Yes.
Now,
As in, yes, it's just him that wonders.
Yeah.
it probably is because it's not silly, it's sort of silly. If a turtle loses its shell,
Yeah.
is it naked or homeless?
If you actually think about it, turtles are just gypsies. Now that I've thought about it, turtles are just...
No,
Can a turtle be removed from its shell?
no. So
That's what- that's what I was gonna say.
biologically,
So dead is the
biologically, their spine is incorporated within the shell. That is, it's an exoskeleton.
Yeah.
But I just like I don't know. I like the idea of it being a lizard inside.
snail has
it's a
a
lizard
shell.
in a shell.
If it doesn't, is it a slug?
Yeah.
No, it's dead.
No, it has a big
Again.
curly thing on the top.
What's a slug then? I thought
Oh, please don't tell me you thought a slug was a snail without a shell.
A slug is a snail that has been kicked out by its landlord.
No.
I've got an is it just me that wonders for you guys?
You?
Yeah. And
Ah.
it's a little bit like it's not a creature, it's an insect instead. But do you think caterpillars know that they're going to turn into butterflies, or do they just wake up one day and go,
Yeah. I wonder if
Bloody hell, I'm
I am
fancy.
beautiful.
I wonder
Yeah.
if they count down. Or maybe do they wake up one day and the walking past the
caterpillars
walking
can't
past
go on
the-
countdown. They're not any good at math.
can you imagine it goes to fall out of a tree, it's like, oh no, I'm going to fall to death here, and then
it
all of a
just
sudden it's
flies.
just flying.
Or it or it thinks it's just crawling. It thinks it's just like crawling, caterpillaring.
I like the little
past-
strut that the
past
caterpillars
the
have.
Caterpillaring.
past
I
the
like that.
past the bubble of water, and it goes and it doesn't recognise itself because it's now a beautiful butterfly.
But why would it be crawling if it's a butterfly? It'd be flying. Wouldn't it?
Because it
Butterflies
doesn't know
still
yet, it's got
walk.
wings.
Yeah, it doesn't know.
So it's still getting about on the
It's
floor.
just
like
swigged
a
a can of
peasant.
Red Bull 28 days ago. and then- Maybe that's the key. Maybe people who are drinking Red Bull and then going, "Oh, I can fly." You've got to cocoon yourself for 28 days, and then
Human burrito.
yeah, exactly. No,
I think that's
I think we
cocoon.
need to do some research on this.
Speaking about the time thing, with I literally have a speech impediment. This is so unfair. Anyway,
Joe's
bees
just got his dial-up.
bees
booting
can
up.
learn bees can learn the concept of time, which is
Really?
crazy. Yeah, and they can perceive time, which is crazy.
How
to
do
me.
they do
Right,
that?
so I call bullshit on this. Never mind how they do that. How do we know they do that?
They've done studies, right? So if you
How do you study a bee?
let me get the sentences out and maybe I'll be able to tell you. Okay. Right. So scientists would leave a tray of sugar outside a beehive at 4 p.m. every day. And then when they didn't leave it out, the bees would always come out at 4 p.m. People were like, oh, maybe they base it off the sun. So then they did it in a dark room. Same thing happened. They always came out at 4 p.m. They were like, oh, maybe it's the heat from the sun. So then they ended up loads of stuff going on.
In
Oh,
a
maybe
dark,
it's heat from the
dark
sun.
room in a
so
cold,
they did it.
cold place
They did it in
in
an
a
abandoned.
dark
I think it was an
street.
abandoned salt mine. They did it in 4 p.m. And then they were like, maybe they can tell off the Earth's rotation. So then what happened?
Stop the Earth
So
from
they did
spinning.
it. So they went to Mars.
Yeah.
They did it again.
So a scientist did it in, I think it was Paris, for 4 p.m. and then took the bees to New York, and they came out of the hive at 10 a.m. because they were jet lagged from the time difference. So bees can understand and perceive time. That's crazy.
There's a scientist there, like, yeah, they'll be out in a minute. They're just jet lagged.
They've done psychological tests where people are in dark rooms. They're put in completely windowless and doorless rooms. And
How did they get in?
They keep the door shut.
It's like The Sims. They let them in through the door and then they
And
delete
they
the
remove
door.
everything. But they
Sets it on fire.
but their body clocks like internalized to be a normal sleeping pattern. They'd be awake during the day and asleep during the night, even though they couldn't tell when it was.
Oh, behave. Right, I've got.
I think you mean
a
beehive. Hey, we're on the same page.
I've got.
Jink, show me a Coke.
I have
We
actually.
didn't say it at the same
Yeah,
time.
we did. Get it on the list.
We literally didn't say it at the same time.
I have actually got a serious. Is it just me that wonders now?
Okay.
And hopefully we'll have to apply some real serious scientific thought to it. If you're traveling at the speed of sound,
344 meters per second in a room that is
I know
at 27
this.
degrees Fahrenheit.
and you fart, do you smell it before you hear it?
If you're traveling at the speed of sound, you'd. Oh shit! No, I don't know.
Now, assuming
You would never hear it, surely.
Surely you'd never smell
Because
it.
you
You'd
would
never
leave
smell
the
it.
sound of the fart
but
behind.
because it's like when you jump, when you're on a train and you jump, you don't suddenly fly back.
Yeah, it's because of air resistance, though.
You move. No, if you jump on top of a train,
Yeah,
you
but
still
you're
move with
because
it.
you're traveling at the same speed as the train is.
Yeah.
the sound
So
isn't.
the
I don't
fart-
think you'd ever hear it.
But the fart would also be traveling at the speed of sound.
You
the
wouldn't-
fart would, the smell, but not the sound.
You wouldn't
I don't
smell
think
it.
you'd ever hear it.
You wouldn't smell
So
it.
then, would you smell it before you hear it?
I think you would only smell it.
I don't think you'd smell it at all.
I do.
You'd
I
leave
do.
it behind. If you fart in a room and then walk out, it stays in the room, right? It don't like glue to you and then follow you
Ah,
into
no,
it.
that's
No,
what
no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no. If you fart and walk,
Have you
that,
ever-
that
Have
carries.
you ever
Yeah,
heard?
if you
have you
fart and
ever
walk-
heard of the art of crop dusting?
But if you were to, if you farted in this room and then walked out, it wouldn't
I
follow
reckon
you.
your arse cheeks would still have a
For the
whiff.
first few seconds, it would. It pulls with you.
Yeah.
But if you're moving at the speed of sound,
Yeah, it would pull with it.
you've not at that speed.
Of course it would. If you sat down, it would. The chair would pull it.
Especially, and also, if you're moving at the speed of sound, you're not moving inside a building, right? So it's gonna, your fart's gonna aerate anyway. It's going to mix in with the oxygen around you. You'll never smell it.
So
You'll
the
never
answer
hear it.
is you will smell it.
Would it accelerate you? That's the question I want to answer. If you're moving at 344 meters per second and you fart, that tiny little push, would you suddenly be moving at 345?
I mean, I don't move 1 mile per hour when I fart.
You
I
fart
move
at
7.
a meter per second.
Oh yeah.
That must hurt.
I build them up for a week. you know when people say, you'd know about it if I farted in terms of the smell. Mine's a case of I can put holes in fucking walls.
He always does it on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Moves across the room.
My name's Joe, and this is Jackass. Okay. Now, Dan, last week you tantalised our taste buds with a brand spanker of a
certainly
new
did.
segment, and oh wow, it was a brilliant idea. Joe hated it because of the sound.
No, I hated it afterwards.
Joe hated it
During the
afterwards in
process. It was
and
great.
it is, of course, Bad Bar Snacks. And today I have got a delight for you. These little beauties. I don't actually know what
Can
they're
you
called.
read that?
Because it's all in Wingding. They're called
Wingding.
It's called Biscuit Ogingo, and they are by the looks of it.
They look like they've got like
calamari coated hazelnuts.
open them right now. Get
Yeah.
them open. The calamari, I love it.
Now,
wanna
I
know.
love calamari as in the overall experience.
Mm-hmm.
The calamari taste on its own is essentially a fishy
But
taste.
calamari's nice, like freshly cooked in a little
Yeah,
ramekin
yeah.
at a tapas place, but maybe not in a tinfoil bag.
He's getting the translation.
Nice. What does the translation say?
Bet it says calamari.
But it says Wingding.
It actually translated to ooh. It just put O's on the screen.
Now, of course, anyone allergic to nuts? No, cool.
Nope.
No worries. Get some nuts.
Not that I know of.
So, rustle away.
I only have one allergy.
Oh, they are potent. Have a snuff of them.
Let's give it a sniff.
They smell like pork scratchings.
It's like fishy peanut butter.
They smell like pork scratchings.
They do actually smell like pork scratching.
Well, go
very
on.
much.
Laid in your hand
I'd say
with a
slightly less than pork scratching.
calamari hazelnut. Oh, it shakes.
Oh my god, we could start a band, guys.
Now, we have to distribute some of these to the
Mine
audience
doesn't
as
shake.
well, by
Yes.
tradition. No.
Mine's broken.
Oh no.
Mine's broken.
Everyone's in this together.
Now, to me,
To you.
No, I'm not going to
To me, to you.
that
To you.
smells like peanut butter.
Does smell like peanut butter.
Do you
actually.
scram
butter.
do you scram fish food or something? What do you mean it smells like fish food?
Are we ready?
I am.
Hang on.
This is for tonight's meal, rice and beans.
Excuse me, guys. Sorry, I needed to get that out. I've got a second one coming.
They're all right. They just taste like a salty peanut.
But that
taste
don't,
like them.
that don't taste like calamari. I don't think
they
there's
have
much
much
to them.
taste.
A bit naff, them.
Do you know what they taste
They don't
like?
even have the crunch of a nut.
You go to a bar, you stick your hand in that nut jar and you have some of it. It tastes like them, doesn't it?
They're rubbish.
Well,
Do
no,
you
they're
know what
not.
I
They're not
expected?
rubbish.
Big
They're a
bit.
bad bar snack.
They are a bad bar snack. They are. I'll tell you what. No, they're flavoursome.
They're fine, as in, if you just said, do you want a bag of nuts?
Yeah, and you wouldn't know.
If you said, do you want a bag of foreign calamari flavoured nuts?
You'd expect big things.
Exactly.
They're all right. They're not good.
No.
I would consider them a bad bar snack. So no shout out. Biscuit Ogingo Wingding.
Chuck 'em, dash 'em.
So I'm going to finish this week off, guys, with a little bit of a game. It's not a proper game. It's
Mind
like a
game.
question, and I'm quite intrigued
Is
to
it
see
Minesweeper?
what your response
Are
will
you
be.
playing with me?
Minesweeper.
I am.
I completed, sorry, this is completely off topic, but speaking of games, I completed a game of Minesweeper in less than 15 seconds the other day.
Right. Okay. Well, never
Felt
mind.
good
Decent.
about it. Carry on.
No one cares.
Just because you shit
okay,
at
so
Minesweeper.
I turn up at your house.
Why?
To
All
film
will
the
be
podcast,
revealed.
why else would we turn up at your house?
Course.
Picture, I'm setting the scene for you. I turn up at your house. I knock on the door.
How'd you knock?
In Tom's case, I ring to get let through the gate, and then
Through
I ring
buzzer.
again to get through the
'Cause
first door,
we-
and then I come and knock on the door.
Because
You don't need to knock on the door,
We
it
live
was
in an
unlocked.
open prison.
Yep.
It's not. It's very nice. It's very
Yeah, we
secure.
only film the podcast during visiting hours.
That's why we're gonna be quick. Come on, we're running out of time.
The only thing I say to you is, I've just killed someone. What do you do?
I'd offer to help hide the body.
Okay.
Oh, I'd ask questions before that.
I wouldn't even ask questions. I don't
No,
care.
I would ask a few questions, and I think my first question would be who?
Okay.
He's
What
not
would the
actually.
second
He's not
question
actually
be?
killed anyone. There's no names coming.
Who?
Okay, so for argument's sake,
This is the ex copper coming out. And him,
yeah.
Who was it? Tell me where you did it.
What
Actually, it would be very un-you to kill someone. I feel like if I turned up to one of your gaffs and was like, "I've just killed someone," you'd be like, "Yeah, that's kind of in character."
it was only a matter of time.
No, I think so. You come at my door. I've killed someone. I would say, "Come on in. We need to get the plastic sheets."
And then
I
Dan,
have spare.
and then Dan will go, "Oh no, we're way past the plastic sheets.
Yeah.
I needed those way
It's
back then."
everywhere. And either do that or just go. So,
Yeah.
I'd help you hide the body. I'd help you get rid of all the.
how would you
evidence.
hide the body?
You are. Well, if I start revealing how I would get rid of bodies, then bodies are going to start turning up, and the police are going to go, "Oh, it's that dickhead from that podcast." Yeah, but I'd help you hide it. Patio needs relaying this summer.
Yeah.
If any bodies turn up under our patio, please, I would like you to know I've not actually killed or hidden anything under there.
You
How
cannot confirm
far-
or deny that notion.
How far would you go in helping? That's the question.
Helping what?
Like,
Helping you get
do you
rid
have
of-
a limit? So,
I'd let you borrow my trolley token so you can go to Tesco and buy some stuff to clean it up.
Right, what?
but you
what-
wouldn't
what-
like put your hands on the body.
mate.
No,
I would help you if needs be. Get a new identity and get to a new country.
I wouldn't help you put hands on the body because it would be me.
I would.
No, it wouldn't.
Who?
I'd never kill you.
Right, who would it
I'd get
be?
someone else to do it.
Is this a completely random person that you've killed, or is it someone that you know?
Does it matter? That
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
question.
yeah, genuinely.
Does how far you would help me matter
yeah, it
on
does.
the person?
It does. Right.
Why?
No. Just answer me. Is it a random person or is it
I
someone
want
you know?
both answers. If it was a random person and if it
Random
was someone I
person,
know.
how you hide the body. If it was someone you knew, I'd shaft the blame for you because you'd get thrown about like a dog toy in prison.
Wow. Wow.
I reckon I'd be kind of all right.
Would you now?
Yeah, I reckon.
Okay.
I reckon I've got a 50-50 chance in prison. You've got like a 90-10.
Well, you'd be all right because they put you in a women's prison.
Yeah, I do think I'd last in prison, to be honest. Or maybe not last, but I reckon I'd last longer than you would.
Why?
I don't. How have we got from talking about?
Because I'm talking about because if it was someone he knew, I'd just take
Joe's
the blame
so
for it.
deep into helping me after I've killed someone that he's
Well,
Joe's
Ross
now
Kemp
Joe's
over
now
it.
stood in court.
I'm saying I'll straight up take the blame.
But what if there's no evidence pointing towards you?
I'll just plead guilty. What are they going to do?
And they all just go, yeah, all right, that'll do."
Literally, what? Yeah, I killed him, officer.
Joseph Benham, you weren't in the country at the time of the murder.
and
No,
there
I
was
did it.
5 CCTV cameras in multiple locations showing Daniel not just killing the victim,
this is
but
gonna
also
be- this
hiding
is
the
gonna be
body.
the
He was
only
wearing
time-
a sign saying, "I am Daniel Benham."
This is going to be the only time in your life when you're going to accept the fact that, or like the fact that people say me and you look the same. Both of us hate this, right?
Don't they?
When people say,
Don't these
when
two
people say
look
we look the same, we don't.
exactly the same?
We don't look
We
the
don't
same
look
at
the
all,
same.
right?
I
But
look considerably
I
better
mean,
looking.
okay, so you'll start listening to a podcast and you find out that it's 3 mates, 2 of them are brothers. Which
This-
ones are you gonna pick?
But this will be the only time.
The 2
in your-
good looking ones, eh? Tom? Hey.
And on that note, thank you very much for listening. Good night.
So, just before we finish,
Mm-hmm.
we've just had a question from the audience
Oh.
after Joe talking about going to prison.
Yeah.
And the
Exactly.
question is, obviously, that we live in a time now where people are unable to express themselves in the way that they feel they should be able to express themselves in a way they've never been
Aren't we
able to
lucky?
before. People can identify as the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
People can identify as non-binary.
People
and it's a
are-
great
people-
topic.
people marry train
especially
stations
considering-
now.
They do. Considering the month we are in
That
at
was
the
the
moment,
greatest day of my life.
it's a really relevant topic as well.
It
But
is
the
Pride
question
Month,
from the
cheers to Pride
audience
Month.
is, if someone identifies as the opposite sex
Mm-hmm.
or as non-binary, how do you classify what prison they go to?
Yeah.
Because prisons predominantly are male and female prisons.
So I think it would unfortunately boil down to biologically, whether there is tackle or no tackle.
If it was down to biological sex, though, then you run into the problem of people who are intersex. Not
What,
as in,
as in
not
they-
as,
as in
not
they
as
like
not
sex?
as in into sex, but intersex, or it used to be referred to as hermaphrodite, but now it's referred to as intersex. People who are born with both sets of genitalia.
Maybe you get to pick.
People that are born with both sets of genitalia, though, aren't. I
they
don't know the
predominantly
details.
one
they
sex
they are
only?
Do they
normally
still
predominantly
have-
one. over
Yeah,
the
I was
other,
going to say because it's still based on your chromosomes as well, isn't it? Do they have predominantly male over female?
Well, they have both. That's the thing, but they are typically, I believe, like they tend to lean more towards one than the other.
It
just
might
genetically.
then do you
also
reckon-
it might also boil down to risk. What's going to be the safest place for that person?
I'm
to
under
go?
the impression that if someone was going through hormone replacement therapy or I can't remember if it's
But
hormone.
is there a threshold? Is that let's say that transition from
Male to
male to
female.
female is a 2-year process.
Because you've also
And
got to
let's
think
say
about
they're
things
only
like
they're
the
only
shower room,
they're only
the
6 months into that
toilet.
process.
Yeah.
Is that are they?
I think-
is it after halfway through? More
No,
female than you
think,
are male.
I think they'd still be placed into a women's prison, and they'd still receive HRT
they
during
would
that.
still get it whilst we're
Yeah.
there.
I mean, if I was to go in and be like, "Hi, I identify as a woman," they'd be like, "Don't be fucking daft."
Why?
Because I'm a peak example of what the male specimen should look like.
Wow.
But
Where,
they probably look for a history of gender identity. Like if I rocked up to court and was like, actually, I identify as a female, they'd be like, well, is this like, are you saying this so that you end up in a female
just
prison?
because you'll feel
Or-
safer in a
yeah.
female prison or something. No.
It's like the whole thing with Oscar Pistorius, right?
Mm-hmm.
He spent his entire life proving, he was capable and able to do what
and then
fully able-bodied
suddenly-
people do.
It's suddenly he's
He
under the thumb and he's
destroys his girlfriend through a door with a shotgun, and then his lawyer was like, actually, he should go in the medical wing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why? He spent just because you're trying to put him on the top bunk. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you can do it. Sure, you've got spring in your legs. You could hop and then bounce up to bed.
Oh, well, that was a perfectly timed last order as well, wasn't it? Before that gets any darker. Thank you very much for listening once again. Very, 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 very much appreciated. And hopefully...
I think that was
we
12 verys then.
have
I was
got-
about to say, is that very for every episode? we've
It
done?
was indeed. You can even rewind and count if you
was
like.
7,
It was
actually.
only 7, yeah. Very, very.
Yeah. Jinx one week out. Yes.
Oh, he's got it back. And hopefully, potentially, there's some exciting things coming our way and yours if you're listening.
Keep tuned because I've got some very exciting news in the coming weeks.
He's going to prison. Good night.